Y'all are gonna get me in trouble for talking about these people. Yikes. So I wasn't at this company very long before I started to kind of make waves. I was under the impression when I was hired that I was going to be basically doing self-led learning as far as like my training, but their training program was virtually non-existent, and I was essentially training myself. I got paired with someone who very obviously was not looking to train me. She was very difficult to pin down, and when I did pin her down, we wouldn't take the entire 2 hours of allotted time. We might do 45 minutes, or we might do an hour, but the objective was to sit and shadow her throughout her entire day, and that just never happened. I expressed to my manager that I had concerns regarding my education, and those went on to basically be ignored. He basically said it was my responsibility to figure it out. Now, this company had these little sessions once a week where, we would talk about different topics based on different, materials that they would send out prior. And it was pretty cool. I actually really liked it. And there was one day that I had hopped in and I had given some commentary, and the CEO usually ran, these little talks or whatever. And I had given some input, and she really liked what I had to say. So she ended up reaching out to me, and we had a lovely conversation, and I asked if she'd be open to touching base within 60 days just so I could talk to her about my time there and, basically just update her on my experience. She was more than open to that, which is really awesome because, again, I'm big on networking, and so the fact that the CEO was down to talk to me was huge. And so, some time goes by, and there are red flags popping up all over the place. Eventually, I end up having an assessment that I was never told that I was going to have, and I don't do well. This is a shocker to no one. It's not a shocker because, again, I was basically training myself. Now, at this point, I've gone and I've talked to management several times, and nothing has been resolved. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the next person above my manager. He was basically a director level, right? I decided I'm going to go to the next person up, which would be the CEO. And because we had a good relationship, I figured she'd be the safest person to talk to about this. I was wrong. We get into this conversation now. We had actually rescheduled the time because there was some sort of conflict, but she sent me the new meeting invite. And we hop into this meeting, we're making some small talk, and then all of a sudden I see somebody else is trying to join the call. And after a minute of buffering, I see that it is my manager, the very person that I was planning on talking to her about. And this conversation went from me basically reporting my grievances to her and trying to see if we could come to a resolution about it, to them having a conversation with me about my performance, even though, again, we had already had conversations with my manager about the reasons why I was having concerns and why I ultimately was not doing well. There's going to have to be a part two.